I was icing lemon cupcakes for a small family send-off. My phone buzzed on the counter. "Don't come tonight. It's for real family only." The message was from my sister. I didn't blink. I didn't breathe. I wiped sugar from my fingers, opened my banking app, and hovered over Manage Access. If they'd cut me out, I could cut the cord. What I did next changed how my family would talk about me for years. And the reason she sent that text, it was darker than pettiness. It had a price tag. Let me back up. I'm Nova Nguyen, 33, a cybersecurity analyst for a hospital network. It's not glamorous, but it's steady, and I like protecting people who don't even know I'm there. 2 years ago, I bought a small end-unit townhouse. 2 bedrooms, bright windows, a south-facing balcony. I turned the second room into a plant studio. Rows of herbs, tiny citrus trees, a stubborn fiddle-leaf fig that refuses to love me back. It's my quiet place. My older sister is Mara, 36. She works part-time at a craft store. Her husband, Ron, is 37. He used to drive a forklift at a parts distribution center. They have 2 kids, Ava, 9, and Micah, 7. My parents live in a rent-controlled apartment that somehow holds every chair we've owned since the 90s. We do Sunday dinners there. Or we did. That dinner blew open fast. I brought spring rolls and seltzers. Mom was stirring a pot with the seriousness of a surgeon. Dad was pretending the game wasn't muted. The kids were under the table with crayons. Mara didn't hug me. Ron didn't nod. The room felt like a storm holding its breath. "What's going on?" I asked. Mara looked at me like I was the weather that ruined her picnic. "Ron's warehouse closed. Everyone's out. No warning." My stomach dipped. "I'm sorry, that's rough." Ron's jaw worked. "They sent a nice email and a keychain. Helpful, right?" "We'll figure something out," I said. "The hospital's IT team needs hands. Entry level, full benefits. I can refer." "I move parts," Ron cut in. "I don't sit at a desk clicking." "It's not just clicking," I said softly. "It's stable and they train you." "I'm not starting over," he said. "I've got a trade." Silence. The air hummed with the fridge. Mara folded her arms. "Until Ron lands something in his field, you'll help. $2,100 a month covers rent and food." I choked on seltzer. "Every month." "You don't have kids," she said. "You bought a house. You have savings. This is what family does." I kept my voice calm. "Family also takes the job that's offered." "Don't talk to my husband like he's lazy," she snapped. "I'm offering a solution," I said, not an insult. Mom stepped in wooden spoon like a scepter. "Nova, your sister's right. You're strong. They need you. You know how hard things are." Dad stared at his hands. Heat climbed my neck. "I won't fund choices," I said. "I'll help with work. I won't pay to keep someone unemployed." Ron stood. His chair scraped the vinyl. "We're leaving." Ava and Micah peered at me as if I'd broken something pretty. Mara guided them to the door, not looking back. Mom sighed like I'd failed a test. I carried the untouched spring rolls home. The next 2 weeks were quiet for the first time in years. No, "Hey, can you spot us?" till Friday texts. No surprise bills sliding into my lap. I went to the gym after work. I finally repotted the basil. I slept. Then I got a call. It was a Tuesday. Late. I almost let it go to voicemail. Mara's voice was flat, not angry, just brittle. "We found Ron a job." "Where?" "Austin. Custom metal workshop. His friend moved there. Good money. He can start next week, if we can get there." Here it came. "How much do you need?" She didn't blink. $7,600. Truck, deposits, gas, food till the first check. "If you helped this one last time, we'll be set. We won't need you again." I stared at the plant leaves shining under the grow light. Peace had a number. "If I do this," I said, "it's a one-time transfer. No more. You're responsible from then on." Of course, her yes came too fast. "You'll save us." I asked about the job. She said, "Solid shop union track benefits." Ron said, "Real work, real pay" in the background, loud enough for me to hear. I opened a separate account at my bank. I transferred $7,600. I set up online access. I sent her the login. She called giddy. "We're actually doing this, Nova, and I didn't think you'd come through." It stung. I always come through. That's the problem. "One more thing," she said. "Our credit's messy after the layoff. Could you co-sign a lease, just a formality? We'll take you off once we're settled." My ribs tightened. I should have said no. I should have told her to call the shop and ask for an employer letter. Instead, I called a realtor friend in Austin. We did everything online. Video tour, application, deposit, my signature. It took a day. I watched DocuSign confetti and felt a tiny flare of hope. Maybe this was the clean ending. Help them leave. Reclaim my life. Mom wanted a farewell dinner. Friday night, potluck. We'll invite everyone, she said. We'll pray for the road. I bought a cake stand. I baked cupcakes with lemon curd centers. I wrote a card for the kids with a little Texas sticker pack. I was excited. A goodbye on good terms is still a goodbye. At the hospital, between phishing simulations and a busted badge printer, my phone buzzed over and over. I silenced it. I finished a ticket. I washed my hands. I checked my screen. Don't come tonight. It's for real family only, people who support each other. The text sat there like a stain. I called. She answered on the second ring. What is this? It says what it says, she replied. I just wired you every dollar you asked for, I said. I signed your lease. You did that because you want us gone, she said, voice cool. You're embarrassed by us. You refused to help monthly like a real sister, so don't pretend you care. I swallowed, burning. I offered Ron a job with benefits. You turned it down. I helped you move so your kids could have stability. You helped because you envy me, she said, almost bored. You're alone in a plant store with a mortgage. I have a family. Tonight is for people who show up. She hung up. I stood in the break room staring at the microwave clock. 5. 12. I wasn't going to cry at work. I pressed my thumb on my phone. I opened the transfer history. The money was still mostly there. A truck deposit had posted. Gas hadn't. Groceries hadn't. The balance was real. So was my anger. I removed her access to the account. One tap. Confirm. I texted my realtor friend. Urgent. Can we unwind the Austin lease? Family situation changed. She sent the landlord's number and told me to be honest. He was kinder than he needed to be. Happens more than you think, he said. I'll refund the deposit. I sat at my kitchen table. Cupcakes cooling, phone face down. The house hummed steady as a heartbeat. It felt like the first true boundary I'd set since I was old enough to pay my own bills. The pounding rattled my peephole. A child's voice whispered. A woman hissed. A fist thumped again. I opened the door a crack. Mom was on the top step with her purse clutched to her chest. Dad stood behind her, pale and apologetic. Mara and Ron flanked them, tight-faced. Ava and Micah hugged a stuffed fox between them. Let us in, Mara said, pushing before I answered. They spilled into my living room. The cupcakes from last night were still on the counter under glass. The house smelled like sugar and lemons and anger. You blocked the money, Mara snapped. The truck is booked. We're packed. We move today. You uninvited me, I said. You made it clear I'm not family. That was about the dinner, she shot back. This is about our lives. Ron's jaw flexed. My start date is Monday. They're counting on me. You should have thought about that before you sent the text, I said. I kept my tone level, like I do on incident calls. Also, the lease is canceled. The deposit is returning to me. Mara blinked. You what? I told the landlord the situation changed. He released it. Mom's eyes filled. Nova, sweetheart, this is cruel. Cruel was telling me I don't belong, I said. Cruel was taking my money and my signature and slamming a door in my face. Dad raised a palm. Maybe we can all take a breath. Ron stepped toward me, shoulders squared. You enjoy power too much. I enjoy boundaries, I said. There's a difference. Ava tugged Mara's sleeve. Mom, can we go? Micah hid behind the fox. Their small voices stung more than the shouting. Mara swept an arm at my house. You get to live like this because you don't share, because you hoard. You think helping once lets you judge forever. I walked to the kitchen, lifted the glass dome, and moved the cupcakes aside. It gave my hands something to do. It also gave me a second to pick calm over fire. When Ron's warehouse closed, I said I offered him a job. Real pay, benefits. He said no. You asked for ongoing money. I said no. You found a move that could work. I funded it. You closed the door. I protected myself. You did it to humiliate us, she said. No, I said. I did it because I refused to be treated like a wallet with legs. Ron's fists clenched. Turn it back on. We go today. No, I said. He took a step. The old floorboard groaned. The fox squeaked. My neighbor Kian appeared at the open doorway like a calm warning. He's a paramedic. He lives 2 doors down. He jogs at sunrise and returns packages when the delivery guy gets lazy. He must have heard the noise. You folks okay? He asked, eyes on Ron, tone light but edged. I heard shouting. We're fine, I said. Mara's mouth thinned. This is family business. Kian nodded, easy. Cool, just wanted to make sure nobody needs an ambulance or a cop. Ron exhaled through his nose and stepped back. Kian's presence changed the math. Mom turned to me with the spoon voice she uses when I'm 5. Please, your sister is desperate. We gave notice on their place. You told me I'm not invited because I'm not real family, I said. You don't get to pull the family lever now. Dad rubbed his forehead. We can't have them on the street. They won't be, I said. They can stay with you for now. That landed harder than I meant it to, but it was true. Mara laughed once ugly. You want to trap us here. You want us begging. No, I said. I want out of the cycle where I fix you take and then you point at my life and call it empty. Ron looked around my living room like he was inventorying it for resale. His eyes snagged on the TV, the laptop on the coffee table, the healthy plants. You got all this because nobody drains you. I got this because I work double shifts and automate myself out of sleep, I said. Also because I don't buy things I can't afford and then ask you to cover them. Mom winced. Mara bristled. Dad checked the door like leaving was an option, but not yet. Fine, Mara said. Keep the money, keep the lease, keep your cupcakes. You're going to regret this when people hear what you did. People already heard what you did, I said. I pulled my phone from my pocket and raised the screen. The text glowed like a billboard. Don't come. It's for real family only. I looked at Mom. That was your plan. Exclude me and still expect access. Mom flinched. You weren't supposed to see that. I was the target, I said. I saw it fine. Kian shifted his weight. If everyone's done, maybe best to cool off. It's a Saturday. Mara planted herself on my sofa. I'm not leaving till you fix this. Then I'm calling 911, I said. I won't argue. I won't explain. I'll just ask strangers to remove you from my home. We stared at each other. The kid's fox squeaked again. Micah's lip trembled. Ava whispered, Mom. Mara stood. She brushed past me hard enough to make me step back. This isn't over. Ron muttered, You'll hear from a lawyer. He won't. He can't afford one. But threats feel like control. Dad squeezed my shoulder as he passed. I'll call later, he murmured. I didn't say yes. Mom wiped her eyes and wouldn't meet mine. She shepherded the kids toward the door with little sounds gentler than her words for me had been. The door shut. The quiet snapped back. Kian lingered a beat. You good? I'm okay, I said. My voice didn't shake. That felt new. Thanks. Anytime. He pointed 2 fingers. Text me if they circle back. He left. I locked the door. The house sighed. I set the cupcakes back under glass and made coffee I didn't want. My hands trembled anyway. My phone buzzed. Not Mara, not Mom. A name I barely recognized, Tess Delgado. We'd gone to high school together. She works at a thrift shop. She's also in one of those moms' Facebook groups where news spreads faster than the flu. Her message was a single line, you should see this. Then a screenshot arrived. A post from Mara in a private group. I read it twice to make sure I wasn't misreading. Update. We finally got the $. From my sister, and she signed the lease, LOL. She didn't even read it. Party tonight for our real family. Don't tell her. She's being dramatic and tried to push Ron into some basement IT job. We'll use the rest for a few things we need before Austin TV finally. She'll never know. Below it were comments, laughing emojis. Yes, take it. She owes you for being child-free. One person tagged Tess and said, You coming tonight? That must be how the screenshot found me. I stared at the TV finally line until the words blurred. There it was. The plan laid out like a shopping list. The party wasn't a goodbye. It was a victory lap. My chest went cold, then hot. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't cruel. I had read the situation exactly right. I typed Tess a thank you. She responded with a second screenshot. A reply from Mara under her own post. We'll take Nova off the lease later, but we need her on it now. If she gets weird, we'll wait 6 months. Landlords never remove co-signers. I closed my eyes. The lemon scent from the cupcakes turned metallic. The relief of yesterday hardened into something sharper. I hadn't just protected my bank account. I had dodged a trap. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Kira from work, my anchor, the one who always shows up with soup when the flu hits and with blunt truth when I lie to myself. I'd texted her a short version last night. She'd sent a string of knives and shields emojis. "You home?" she wrote. "Yeah," I typed. "They came. It was ugly." "Want company and caffeine?" she asked. "Yes," I wrote. "Please." 10 minutes later, she was at my table with iced lattes and a paper bag of bagels. I told her everything. The knock, the threats, the screenshots. Kira scrolled face tight. "They planned to buy a TV with your money," she said flatly. "Of course you shut it down." I keep replaying Mom's face, I said, like I kicked a puppy. "You didn't," Kira said. "You kicked a pattern." She tapped the post. "And now you have receipts." She was right. Evidence, dates, words. It made my stomach settle. "Now what?" I asked. "Now you document," she said. "You email the landlord a clean summary so there's a written record. You talk to the bank about freezing any remaining links. You send your parents one clear message and then go quiet. And you breathe." I nodded. The plan felt like air. I drafted the landlord email: lease canceled, deposit refunded, no authorization for any charges, co-signer status withdrawn. I sent my bank a secure message to confirm that all access was mine alone. Then, with Kira reading over my shoulder to keep me from apologizing, I wrote to my parents, "I love you both. I can't be treated as not family and then used as a lender." I offered work. I paid for a move. I was excluded. I withdrew. I won't engage with yelling or threats. When everyone is calm, we can talk. Not before. Kira slid the phone back to me. "Good," she said. Firm, kind, final. My chest loosened a fraction. Outside, kids were biking in the cul-de-sac. Somewhere, a grill clicked on. Normal life kept humming. I looked at the plant room. Sun hit the little citrus leaves. It looked like a promise. Sunday was slow and bright. I watered the basil and tried not to replay the shouting. Kira texted eat. I chewed a bagel in tiny angry bites. "Call the shop in Austin," she said. "Let's verify." I found the number from Mara's texts. A man answered on the third ring. Calder Fabrication. "Hi," I said. "I'm checking on a start date for Ron Baxter." "Monday." A pause. Keys clicked. "Ron," he repeated. "He came through for a tour. No start date set. We told him there's a weld test first. Also, we don't promise Mondays." My stomach sank and steadied at the same time. "So there isn't a job offer?" "Not yet," he said. "We like him. We said call us after the test. Who is this?" "Family," I said. "Thanks for confirming." I hung up. The silence hummed. Kira leaned on the counter. "Validator number 1, she said. "No offer. Just a maybe." I nodded. It didn't make me happy. It made me clear. My phone flashed with an unknown number from Texas. I let it ring once, then took it. "Ms. Nguyen," a man asked. "This is Alan from Oakview Lofts. I wanted to verify something." "A man named Ron called last night pretending to be you. He asked me to reactivate a lease and said to send refunds to a new account his. He did not sound like the you I spoke with yesterday. A cold, clean feeling slid through me. "Thank you for checking," I said. "I do not authorize that. Please keep everything canceled." "Already done," he said, and I documented the call. When the line went quiet, Kira raised her brows. "They tried to use your name." "Validator number 2, I said, in writing. I made tea I wouldn't drink. The lemon still hung in the air. I stood in it like fog. Another call came an hour later. This one from a store I didn't recognize. "Nova Nguyen," the woman asked. "This is Evan with Metroflex Electronics. Someone at our River Point location is applying for in-house credit under your name and number. Routine verification call. Do you approve?" My mouth went dry. "Who's there?" "I can't disclose names," he said. "But the caller ID on their application says Mara Baxter." I didn't speak for a beat. "I do not approve," I said. "Do not open anything. Note that I refused." "Copy," he said. He sounded annoyed for me. "I'm marking it denied. If she's family, she should know better." When I hung up, Kira whistled low. Validator number 3? Also, what a trash move. I opened my credit app and set a fraud alert anyway. Finger steady, heart not. Tess pinged again. One more thing. She dropped another screenshot. It was a comment under Mara's party post timestamped an hour after my block. We went to get the TV and the credit thing was a mess. Nova is petty AF, but whatever, we'll figure it out. She'll crawl back when Mom freezes her out. I read it twice. Mom, the phrase again. Who started the real family line, I asked mostly to myself. Kira tapped her nail. Who benefits most from making you the villain? The phone answered for us. He almost never calls first, I said. He exhaled. I told your mother I wouldn't call, but here I am. I waited. I don't like what happened, he said. We were wrong to exclude you. I should have said that yesterday. Your mother, your sister, they decided the real family thing. They thought it would force you to pay monthly. They thought you'd beg to be let back in. They wanted leverage. It was ugly. I'm sorry. Heat surged up the back of my neck. Not anger. Relief that matched the hurt. Thank you for telling me, I said. He kept talking, words spilling like he'd been holding his breath for days. Mara told your mother you owe her because she gave us grandkids. Your mother ran with it. She told Aunt Lynn. Aunt Lynn told half the prayer circle. You know how it goes. I do, I said. The kids heard everything. He added, voice breaking a little. Ava asked last night why Aunt Nova's card didn't work at the store. I told her you don't owe us a TV. She looked confused. Micah cried. I don't want them in the middle. Neither do I said. They're not props. I know, he said. Nova, take care of yourself. I'll try to talk to your mother when she's calmer. We hung up. My hands shook then, not from fear, but from the fact that I finally had someone inside the room telling me what the room looked like. Kira squeezed my shoulder. There's your revealer, she said softly. And it hurts, but it's truth. I nodded. I copied the fraud alert confirmation into a folder. I saved the store denial email that arrived a minute later. I wrote a timeline with dates and times. It looked like a work incident report, unauthorized attempt to open credit at 11:32 a.m., impersonation call to landlord at 9:08 a.m., social posts boasting at 7:13 p.m. prior. Turn it into a file you can send if you need to, Kira said. Then step away. I tried. I stood on the balcony and watched sun slide over the parking lot. Someone's chihuahua yelled at a leaf. Normal was ridiculous and beautiful. My phone buzzed with a text I didn't expect. Ava, Aunt Nova. Can we see your plants? There was a selfie attached her, and Micah squished together eyes, big fox between them. I stared at it. Did you give Ava your number? Kira asked. I always text birthdays, I said. They saved me. Take it, she said, but meet in public. We met at the little park down the block. Kian was outside washing his car. I waved, and he tipped the hose like a salute. I liked the idea that another adult saw us leave. My brain doesn't stop doing threat models. Ava ran ahead. Micah walked slow, holding the fox by its tail. Mom thinks you hate us, Ava said in a rush. Do you? No, I said. I love you very much. I'm upset with your mom and dad. That's different. Micah peeked up. Mom said you're the bank. I crouched to his height. I'm a person, I said, not a bank. Ava kicked gravel. She said you won't be invited to stuff until you learn. But I wanted to invite you anyway. Is that okay? My throat got tight. It's very okay. She pulled something from her backpack. My card. The Texas sticker pack I'd planned to hand them at the party. We found this in Grandma's hutch, she said. I think she hid it. We took it. I opened the card. My handwriting felt like a letter from a less tired version of me proud of you. Go swim every month. Eat spicy breakfast tacos. Send pictures. I hadn't crossed anything out. It was clean, hopeful. It hurt and soothed at the same time. Can I ask you a question? Ava said. Are we still moving? I don't know, I said. I didn't lie. That depends on your parents. She chewed her lip. Mom said you canceled the house because you're selfish. I canceled because you shouldn't live somewhere your mom put in my name, I said. That's grown-up stuff, but it matters. She nodded like she didn't understand, and also like she understood too much. Okay, Micah held out the fox. He wants to live near your plants, he said, with grave sincerity. I bet he does, I said, taking his free hand instead. It was sticky with watermelon and dirt. Real life. We walked the loop twice. We talked about lizards and school lunch. Then Grandpa's sedan pulled into the lot. Dad got out looking sheepish. Your mother is asleep, he said. I told them I was taking the kids for ice cream. He looked at me. You're welcome to come. I'll pass today, I said. Thank you. He hesitated. Mara came by this morning with a paper for me to sign. It said you allowed her to use your name on other applications if needed. I told her no. She got mad. My jaw clenched. Send me a picture if you see it again. He nodded. They left in a swirl of car seat buckles and requests for sprinkles. I stood under a tree and let the shade cool my face. The ground felt solid under my sneakers. It helped. Back home, my email dinged with a new alert, new credit inquiry, rent to own warehouse Riverpoint. Timestamp 20 minutes after Metroflex denied them. I stared at the line. The inquiry used a variation of my name. The address on it was my parents' apartment. It wasn't panic that lifted my hand to my chest. It was something sharper. Not fear, not fury, focus. This was the moment my job and my life perfectly overlapped. Attack surface, mitigation. I called the credit bureau, placed extended alerts, and started a dispute. I typed like I was at work, fast and exact. Kira read over my shoulder again. We should also lock down your mail, she said. P.O. Box, forwarding, anything that stops applications with your address. On it, I said. The list lengthened. Freeze P.O. Box password resets, 2FA audit, new pins, USPS hold if needed. Check, check, check. My phone buzzed one more time. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. When it finished, I played it on speaker. Nova, it's Aunt Lynn, the voice said, crisp and tired. I don't like being pulled into this, but I will say it. Your mother is telling people you refuse to help. She leaves out the job. She leaves out the money. She adds drama. I told her to stop. She cried. I don't know who she is serving. Certainly not the children. A sigh. If you need a witness, I will be one. I saved it. Another brick in the wall. By dinner, I had a neat folder of facts and a deeper ache in my ribs. You can be right and still be sad. You can have proof and still want someone to wake up and choose you. The sun went down. The basil smelled green. My house hummed. Tomorrow would be part 4, whether I wanted it or not. Because tomorrow I wasn't waiting for another call. I was going to my parents' place. I needed to look my mother in the eye. I needed to see what else of mine lived in their drawers. And I needed to find out who slid my card into that hutch and why they were already saving my name for later. Monday tasted like metal. I didn't wait for another call. I drove to my parents' building with the windows cracked and the AC off, trying to feel the air. Gravel popped under my tires. Somewhere, a radio played an old love song too bright for the hour. The hallway smelled like fish sauce and pine sol. Paint bubbled near the baseboards. I knocked. Dad opened the door with the chain on, then slid it free. Your mother's cooking, he said like a warning. In our kitchen, every burner was on. Steam fogged the window. The fan rattled. Mom didn't turn around. Mara was at the tiny table texting Thumb, moving like a woodpecker. Ron leaned in the doorway, arms crossed. The kids were in the bedroom, the cartoon laugh track leaking out. I'm here for my card and anything else with my name on it, I said. Mara smirked without looking up. Oh, the princess graces us. Enough, Dad said, soft but edged. Mom set the spoon down. We're eating first. I'm not staying, I said. I'm collecting my things. Her shoulders twitched. There is nothing of yours here. The hutch next to the table said otherwise. It's an old walnut cabinet with glass doors crowded with teacups and extra mail and every school photo we ever hated. The bottom drawer always sticks on humid days. Today, the room was a sauna. I crossed the tile. Ron shifted, blocking a little, then stepped aside. I pulled the drawer. It squealed like a hurt thing and gave. Inside were bills, coupons, a jumble of pens, underneath a manila envelope. My name on the tab in Mom's handwriting. Nova. The room shrank to that word. Don't, Mom snapped, voice quick as a slap. I looked at her. Why is my name on a file in your drawer? It's nothing, she said. I slid the envelope free. The paper rasped my skin. I set it on the table and opened it with my thumb. The top sheet was a printout of the Austin lease I had canceled, my signature bright at the bottom. Behind it, a typed authorization letter template that started with "I Nova Nguyen permit my sister Mara Baxter to act on my behalf for housing and credit applications." The signature line was blank on that one, but someone had practiced my name across a page of notebook paper underneath. Over and over. Nova N. Nguyen. The looping N tightened until it looked like a knot. A tide roared in my ears. I flipped the stack. Copies of my driver's license photo I'd once sent for a travel booking. How did she still have that screenshots of my LinkedIn? A checklist in Mara's handwriting with boxes: lease, truck, TV pending, sofa pending. Utilities need Nova call. If she resists, mom guilt. If that fails, dad. Under it, a budget scribble from Nova 7.6, truck 900 deposit, 1,800 groceries, 300 TV, 1.2K, fixed car, 600 set aside 1K. I didn't breathe. The letters wavered, then snapped into cruel clarity. "Explain," I said. I didn't raise my voice. The word did the work. Mara's eyes were hard. "You already owe us for the months you refused." Mom's chin lifted. "I kept copies because I live in the real world. People ask for papers. I plan to help your sister. If you were a good daughter, you'd sign the letter and be done." "It's fraud," I said. "It's my name." "It's family," she said, spitting the word like a seed. Ron shrugged one shoulder. "Everybody fudges something. You think rich people don't?" Dad rubbed his forehead. "Lan," he said to Mom, "this is wrong." Mom rounded on him. "Wrong is letting your sister starve." She flung a hand at me. "She has plants and gadgets. She can afford a television for her niece." "The television wasn't for them," I said. I tapped the line item with my nail. "It was for you to feel better about a party I wasn't invited to," Mara scoffed. "You weren't invited because you're cruel." The spoon in the pot clicked against the rim. The TV laugh track in the bedroom turned tinny far away. Through the grimy window, a sliver of sky sat bright and indifferent. The sky was still blue. It made the room feel uglier. I photographed every page, steady hands, muscle memory. Evidence, not argument. Mom lunged for the folder. Dad caught her wrist. "Please," he said, voice shaking. She stared at him like she didn't know the man who'd said no. I slid the envelope back in the drawer. Not hiding, not taking, just leaving it with copies already in my cloud and Kira's. "What else with my name is in this house?" I asked. Mara laughed thin. "You think this is a war?" "I'm ending a habit." Ava padded in Micah behind her with the fox. "Grandma, why does that say Aunt Nova?" Mom's smile snapped on. "Back to your show." Ava didn't move. "Did you hide her card?" Silence cracked. Dad guided them away. Aunt Lynn walked in without knocking, scanned the room, sighed. "I told you to stop," she said to Mom. "You want control. You're punishing Nova for not living your script." Ron shoved his hands in his pockets. "We just need a boost." "You had one," I said. "I wired money. I signed a lease. Then you used my name on a landlord and a store." "Prove it," Mara said. I laid out the emails and screenshots. Aunt Lynn read fast. "Enough," she said. "If Nova files, I'll testify." Mom's mouth twisted. "You'd call police on family." "I'll tell the truth to protect her." I looked at Mom, gray, streak, tired hands that had filled forms for decades, and said, "I'm not your ledger. I'm your daughter." Her face hardened. "If you leave, don't come back." "There it is," I said, standing. "Use my name again, and I file for identity theft. This isn't a bluff." Drama, Mara spat. "Do it and see." I walked out into heat. Kira texted alive. In one piece I wrote, "Copies made. Mom told me not to come back." "Meet me at the precinct," she replied. "Paper trail, then coffee." Evan from Metroflex pinged, "Your sister and mother are here trying another address. I'm stalling." We turned toward the station. At the precinct, I said it out loud. Identity theft, credit fraud, lease, impersonation. Detective Morales took the stack. "You did my job," she said, then dispatched a unit. At River Point, Officer Pena sat them down under a poster of a smiling family. I handed him the case number. "You brought police," Mara hissed. I brought myself. over my name. Pena issued a trespass warning and noted no contact except through counsel or for kid emergencies via my father. Mom's tears shut off. "You're dead to me." "Okay," I said. They left to the soft sound of new limits. We spent the afternoon locking down P.O. Box carrier passcode freezes at all 3 bureaus, bank verbal passwords, email recovery shred, bin door cam. Dad called Pena's, his friend's boy, and admitted he'd found an envelope of my SSN and records in the hutch. "We keep too much." "I'm sorry." "Bring it," I said. Mara left a Venom voicemail. I saved it. Morales, later handwriting match, formal warning issued. I dropped goodbye books at the library for the kids, wrote Mom, 1 letter, boundaries set, emergencies through Dad, and pinned 3 lines on my phone. Believe them the first time. Keep receipts. Protect peace like it's rent. 6 quiet weeks followed. Dad delivered the manila envelope, and Oranges chose truth without choosing sides, took basil cuttings home. A few bare texts from Mara, one from Ron owning his night shift. I saw Mom in a parking lot, no scene, just distance. The kids met me at the park. Ava planned a mint cuttings project. A winter concert came and went. Ava later drew basil oranges and a fox in a party hat. Family can be the people who don't spend your money too. I still miss my mother. Missing isn't consent. The boundary holds. The basil grows. Quiet takes the space the drama used to eat.